This podcast is part of the Deluxe Edition Network. To find other great shows on the network, head over to deluxeeditionnetwork.com. That's deluxeeditionnetwork.com.
Coffee Fuel Stories. K Radio UNK Radio UNK. It's good to be a unicorn. Hello. It's me, Coffee Fitness Unicorn, and this is the first mini Monday of the new year of season 3. So, holy crap. How cool is that? I can't even believe that this is, I can't even believe that those are the words that are coming out of my mouth. It's just like so amazing and cool to say those words. So thank you for tuning in. Thank you for listening, and thank you for sharing and telling your friends about this silly show that I just have fun with and share silly stories. And today's silly story is going to be leftover coffee. That's right. So this is going to be a little bit of a controversial topic because, number one, some people, those who are coffee fanatics, are like, what the hell is even leftover coffee and why are we discussing it? And number two, I'm going to tell you a little secret. I'm going to share something that not many people know. So I guess you could call this a confession, a coffee confession maybe. So leftover coffee. There is an unwritten rule that if you see a coffee cup with coffee in it on the counter, do not throw it away in this house, in my house. But like, if you live with me, that's like the unwritten rule. And I'll give you a story. When Brandy moved in almost 5 years ago, going on 5 years this year, I said these words. I was like, if you see coffee in the coffee pot or a coffee mug on the counter with coffee in it, please do not toss it or throw it out. And she was like, okay. And I said, there's a reason for that. I said, because clearly it's leftover coffee, and because I don't buy just cheap coffee. It's not instant. It's not, I'm not going to badmouth any coffee brands, but it's not, let's just say it's not cheap coffee. It's not super expensive coffee, but it's my favorite coffee and it's delicious coffee. And if it's still in a cup on the counter, that means I am going to drink it. And I assure you, it will not stay there for more than 24 hours. And the reason for this is because why is there leftover coffee, right? So everybody knows that I love coffee and it's like my favorite drink on the entire planet. So you're asking me, Coffee Fitness Unicorn, what the hell are you doing with leftover coffee in a coffee mug, let alone in a coffee pot? There's a reason for that. Sometimes, let's just say I'm not in my 20s anymore and I can't drink a whole pot of coffee or 10 to 20 cups of coffee in a day anymore. I mean, I could, but it would be really bad and it would be very unhealthy. And I would hate to see what I would be like in my 50s on a pot of coffee or 10 to 20 cups of coffee. So in my 20s, I could pull that crap off, but I can't do that now. So I have to cut myself off after 2 or 3 cups of coffee in a day. And the only time I have 3 cups of coffee is usually on the weekends. It's usually Friday and Saturdays, maybe on a Sunday, but that's pushing it. But where I'm going with this is I will have my 2 cups of coffee, or I might have a cup and a half of coffee, and I'll pay attention and I'll notice that it's getting between 2 and 3 o'clock in the afternoon and I still have half a cup of coffee. And I debate, do I want to be up all night or do I want to wake up around 4 a.m. and start thinking about the podcast or thinking about, I don't know, snow on the ground or global warming? I don't know, whatever you think about in the middle of the night, because you've had too much coffee, and the caffeine half-life has decided to wake up. So I have to have a debate with myself. Do I finish that last half cup of coffee after 2 o'clock on a Monday? And I even did this when I was working. This, like, corporate life, all of this is something that pretty much started obviously after my 20s. It didn't count for the 10 years that I was in school straight from my associate, bachelor's to master's, because I needed all the coffee and sleep was not an option. That was just something that sleep was a luxury. And now it's something that I have to do because it would be very unhealthy if I didn't sleep. And I'm also not in grad school. I don't have to study. I don't have to read 800 pages a week. So thank goodness that part of my life is now behind me, because now I can actually have a schedule, sleep properly, and not have to worry about staying up all night. The reason that there is leftover coffee in the coffee pot or in a coffee cup on the counter is because I have had enough caffeine for the day, and that little leftover is going to go to good use the next day. I might keep it for my afternoon cup, or I might add a little bit more to it in the morning. I usually don't like to do that, but because I know that sounds kind of weird. Like, why would I take coffee from the previous day and add it with the coffee from the previous day in the pot, or make a fresh pot? So either way, it's, why would you want to start your day with leftover coffee? So I know that is a really tough type of situation to be in, but I'll tell you, when you love coffee as much as I do, you're not about to throw away the good coffee. Leftover coffee isn't such a bad thing here in this house. It just breaks my heart to have to throw away coffee. And if I did throw away coffee, I would be throwing out a lot of coffee. It would cost a lot of money. And in addition to that, I also put cream and sugar in it. Yeah, I'm completely doing a coffee confessional, that I keep leftover coffee. And again, it's literally only for the night. And so that coffee cup, I actually put it in the microwave, keep it safe, and then I will drink it the next day after I've had my full fresh cup, and feel like I can conquer the world because I have had my coffee, and then drink the leftover coffee because, again, I'm not about to just throw it out. So that is my coffee confessional regarding leftover coffee. My question to you is, what are your thoughts on leftover coffee? Number one, do you even have leftover coffee? And number two, what do you do with your leftover coffee? Thank you for listening and enjoying the first mini Monday of the new year of season 3. Thank you again. Go forth and be magical.